I take some photos. Sorry? Sorry? Okay. Well, welcome to everyone. Boys, you can take your seats. You'll stand up when Rabbi Freshwater comes, if he comes. I'm from Mayor. Don't tell your father. Actually, you should wait by the door so he knows where to go. You will? Yeah, I'll wait. Yeah? Okay.
It's complicated.
Thank you so much. Where is, oh, Daniel's gone. Oh, Rumi's here, look at that. Okay. I've been walking around today thinking, what am I going to say tonight? I'm not going to say the Torah, other people will say. I'm so full of emotions. I have like a little WhatsApp group with some friends, and they asked me like, what's going on? I said, I feel like I'm making a chasana tonight. And I've made a chasana already. So I'm not exaggerating, Baruch Hashem. It's first of all, I would like to thank Daniel. He's not here, but Yaakov, you'll pass on to your father, Daniel and his Rebbetzin, for hosting us here tonight. And for Rebbeinu Shlolem, for keeping us all alive and giving us koyach to do what we do. And I would like to thank, of course, Rabbi Golka, my superiors, Rabbi Hartman, for letting me peddle my wares at Hasmonean, and with so much encouragement and so much help. I really appreciate it. May the Rebbeinu help you in your work. Tonight's a big night because you're probably wondering what's the big deal. And I'm also a father of children, and I get schlepped to this event and that event. But your kids haven't talked about much else for the last few months, so I hear. And it's been a fantastic journey. I prepared things to say about the Amos, especially this year. I'm filled with tremendous emotion and tremendous simcha for having got here to this stage. We took a big group at the beginning of the year of 30 boys. It was never going to be 30. And the survivors, of the Multiplays, a horror show, are sitting here with you. And it gives me tremendous simcha to see 16 boys who are pumped, who are happy, who have worked harder than anyone else, but are so much happier for it, feel accomplished. It's the biggest gift you can give to a child, is to make him feel, to make him successful. That's the biggest gift you can give to a child. This is a J2, not the J1. And the academic world, and the boys will all tell you this is absolutely true, favors those boys who are gifted, and 4 days before their exams, they start cramming for their exams, and they all get the A's, and all the schleppers who've been working for 2 months have to watch them get better grades. That works very nicely in the GCSEs, and what we have here is a product which really brought out the best in every single boy in this class. We have boys who are clever, we have boys who are less clever. Doesn't make a difference, zero. All the boys will tell you afterwards that what I tell you now is absolutely true. The boys in this class who took the work seriously, Baruch Hashem, was Zoicha, and they stand with their heads held high and are an example to all the rest. And the ones who left things a bit late, and the ones who left it a bit late, they found it more tough going, because this was not a small undertaking. This was a big undertaking. And the ones who listened all the way through the year found it much easier. They weren't under pressure. The ones who kicked off a bit later found it a bit harder. And Baruch Hashem, every boy, I can say, the Amos has been gotten the most out of as is possible this year, which is why I want to say to all the boys, you're here now, the work has been done. The Faher is not a formality, because otherwise Reb Chaim won't come again next year. But it's not a formality, but you all know what I'm saying is true. The work has been done, and you know what you know, and most of you did very well, and even those who did less well also did very well, because you're better people than you were at the beginning of the year. And even if you're not able to answer every question, I hope you take with you a chizuk for the future, to become stronger, to become better. And Rabbi Freshwater will be asking lots of questions. If you know the answer, if I help you, if I don't help you, so what was the Avi, what was the Nusach? I don't have. I have insufficient knowledge to answer the question. There's no shame. There's no shame, and I have insufficient knowledge to answer the question. Baruch Hashem, you've all done tremendously well. Be'emes, I think from all the years that I've taught, I think Be'emes, the one that I feel the most hatzlacha was this year. And without further ado, I would like to thank my very good friend and classmate, Rabbi Freshwater, who is a very busy Rosh Hashiva, but I have no rachmanos on him because Jeremy and the Shua will be made. That hat sich angekauft, Olam Haba, coming here tonight with these wonderful, wonderful boys who have been waiting for a whole year to meet him. The whole year. Last night we met him at Gideon Goldstein's Chasen, and I really, really appreciate him taking a time off his very busy schedule to come here. He has to prepare the moment. I don't think he has to probably, but it's an effort, and I really appreciate it, Me'umke the liver. And let's kick off proceedings, gentlemen.
Start from the right. What's the name?
Tzvi Littlestone.
Tzvi?
Littlestone.
Tzvi. There's a mission in the beginning of the Sharia. No, just relax. That's the most important. Why do you relax? The mission in the beginning of the Sharia. Yeah. The Noshna mission may be mashma, maybe not. Can you tell me whether or not if someone was the shliach in front of Bezdin and not in front of the shliach and the Isha, whether or not the bittul works with the others? Is there any proof in the Mishnah?
Well, there's the argument in Tosos of Rabbi and Shimon ben Gamliel, and it leans very heavily according to Shimon ben Gamliel, because it doesn't actually mention Rabbi in the Mishnah. It doesn't have a case of Rabbi in the Mishnah.
Which case?
The case of Bilim Vizor.
Yeah.
Tosos talks about that, doesn't he?
He said.
Yeah.
So what does Tosos say? Tosos says there's no proof in the Mishnah.
Sorry?
Tosos says there's no proof in the Mishnah, right?
Yes, there's three cases. Three answers. Sorry. You say because Rogel, it's the normal way in order to do it in front of in order to do it in front of Beis Din. No, sorry, not yeah.
No.
Not to do it in front of Beis Din.
You know this so well. Relax.
Go.
It's the normal way.
Why is it normal?
Yeah, because it's the usual way in order to do it not in front of Beis Din, in front of Shliach or Beis Din.
What would be if you did it without
In front of Beis Din.
yeah, what would you do?
Well, it depends. Do you hold on?
It works. If it works, well,
if
is it okay?
If it works, then yeah.
Perfectly okay?
It's not
But this-
perfectly okay. As in Rabbi says, it's all right. B'diavad, but
Also,
Yeah.
not allowed to. Yeah. Right. Okay. What else? What else
we
is
say it's a chiddush when if nei shaliach, because it shows that you don't need Beis Din. The Beis Din isn't needed.
One more.
That even b'fnei shaliach, the bittul, we don't say litzir.
Very good. Excellent. Yeah.
Alex Malcolm.
That's Alex. Can you tell me what's the difference in the Russian Gia and Gioi?
So Higia, we would say that it's Litzur because
What's the difference in translation?
in translation,
Gia and
Higia he
Gia?
randomly met, and Higia was he chased after the Shliach, and he on purposely met.
Right. And why does the Mishnah choose the Russian Gia over Gia?
Because to teach you that even though randomly met, you may think it's to cause her pain, but it's not.
What does that mean to cause her pain? What way is it going
So
to
Litzura, so that she'll be that if you're going to cancel the get, and then you're going to say, oh, I'm not going to cancel the get, she's going to be in the situation.
You know what it means?
Rashi says that he'll wait a month or 2 months and he'll keep changing his mind, and Tosfos says that he doesn't actually mean to cancel.
Rashi?
Yeah, he knows.
Go on.
Chaim's asking him. according to Rashi, what's the nafkamina if he's cancelling it or he's just pausing it? Either way the shliach can't go. So who cares? Cancel, pause. Do you nafkamina? Why you want to?
Yeah, the three nafkaminas are one, when he cancels them and reappoints them, whether or not he'll need Adam for that.
Because
if he pauses it,
right,
he doesn't need Adam to
because he's not
pause
appointing a shliach
Yeah.
from the fresh.
it, and he also doesn't need them to unpause it. And the final nafkamina is that if one of the shliach, if it's paused and the original shliach wants to appoint another shliach to go, he won't need, he can do that, but if it's been cancelled, then he
He's
can't.
no longer a shliach.
Yeah.
Excellent. Very good. What was your name?
My name,
Yeah.
Yehudi Yaakov Myers.
Right.
His grandfather is Mr. Myers.
Oh,
Yeah.
sag nachher.
Amen.
What's the chiddush in this one? What's your name?
Solomon Levy.
Solomon. Shlomo. What is the chiddush of Kiddumitz Ishtoi and you know loads of cases in the Mishnah. Shodach etz shliach. What's the chiddush of all these cases?
So, if he sends another shliach to the shliach,
Yeah.
so you
You
might
want to start
thought-
Kiddumitz Ishtoi maybe?
Oh, so we just
Right.
Yes. So,
no, we already said if he goes,
so that's
yeah,
long.
Yeah.
That's
No, that's the
after.
third.
it's
He's
first he
telling you.
bumps into the shliach. which
Yeah.
we-
Okay. So
So if he sends a shliach to the shliach,
yeah.
you might have thought that the second shliach can't cancel the
Why
first
not?
shliach. So you might have thought that. So Rav Nachum says
What?
that.
What's going on?
Yeah, so Rav Nachum explains the Gemara because
Yeah.
the Gemara's not. Since you
What's the
everyone
notion of the Gemara?
lashon of Gemara is that la alima shlichus of the batch and shlichus of the kama kama shalom that it can. But the argument is that since everyone agrees that you can cancel a shliach with a dibur because asi dibur with mevatel dibur. But you might have other argument that it needs to be the exact same dibur that appointed the shliach has to cancel the shliach, and therefore the second shliach, which is not the same dibur because it's done through a shliach, not you, you might have thought that wouldn't work. It still does work.
Right. Fine. Very good. And what's the chiddush of Kiddumitz?
He joined the class. Are you asking Solomon or the next one?
It's still on.
Solomon, yeah.
So if he goes to the woman, you might have thought that since it's dealing with her herself, you might have thought that he's even got a bigger reason to. It sounds even more Litzira.
And Shodach etz shliach.
You might have thought that since it's also not him doing it, he doesn't have to actually do anything. You can sit at home and the shliach will go to her. You might have thought it's even a bigger reason to.
And one more question. What's the din if he bumped into his wife?
So that would also not be. It would also be cancelled. It would also be cancelled.
So this
But
is,
it wasn't mentioned in the.
so this is a tamer to
He
say
leaves-
that the din will be
he
different.
leaves it shver.
Yeah, tamer. Is there what he's done?
Sorry?
The next one?
Yeah, he's from Prusburg.
From?
From Prusburg.
From Prusburg.
Yeah.
Okay. Say that. So I should ask now Prusburg?
No.
Okay. Say that. What's your name?
He's the son of the Balabais.
Oh. Davis.
Wait, you just gone out. Hang your knuckles on.
Hanging as well. Even on purpose.
Right. What's the din if the Baal runs after the Shliach and the Shliach doesn't catch on to what the Baal means to tell him, and he gave the get, and then afterwards he found out that the Baal really wanted him.
It's not a good little.
No good bit. Why not?
Because the Rosh Hashanah event is wrong.
Right, is that not Torah or Drabon?
Yeah, it's a bit. I mean, it's
What does it mean? What's not
Tosus or the Reap.
Go on, very good.
So according to Tosus, we learn out to Rosh Hashanah from a case where someone's selling his property to go up to Eretz Yisrael, and he doesn't express that if he doesn't express to the person he's selling to that if something changes,
he wants the property. He wants his metaltalin back. Right. So that's different. That's different. And over there, that's called Devarim Shabbalim according to Tosos. But that's different from our case over here, because over there he's not doing everything. He's not doing everything he can possibly do to show what his intent is. However, over here, when he's chasing after the shliach, he's screaming, he's shouting. So he can't do anything more. And yet, right. So Tosos says that we make that. So Minat Torah is actually a good bet. According to Tosos, Minat Torah is actually a good bittul because he's doing everything.
And therefore the get.
And the get retroactively would be cancelled.
Right.
However, Tosos says that it's such a near case to Devarim Shabbalim. He made midrabanan. It works that even that doesn't cancel. That doesn't work to cancel the get.
That's one shot Tosos, right?
Yeah. So then the Reed, right? So the Reed learns out that no, that's wrong. Even Minat Torah, even if he's doing everything he can possibly do, even that's called Devarim Shabbalim.
How does this know that?
So he learns it out from. Right. So he learns out from later on.
You told me.
Yeah. So they're whipping. So they're trying to force a man to give a get to his wife, and they're whipping him. And the Gemara there asks the question. They're forcing him. So they're forcing him to do it. So the Gemara after that, the Gemara over there asks the question
that he doesn't want.
Right. Yeah. He doesn't want to do it. So yeah, he's doing everything he possibly do to.
No. The Gemara asks he doesn't want. The Gemara says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So the Gemara asks over there. Right.
So we see from
he's doing everything he possibly do. Right. So we see from that the Devarim Shabbalim. Yeah. Because over there he's doing everything he possibly do effectively because he's being beaten. He's doing everything he possibly do to not cancel the get. So he doesn't really want to cancel the get, and yet
it's called Devarim
Shabbalim.
Beautiful. Very good. Right. That's what's your name?
Ben Ezekiel.
Benzi.
Ben Ezekiel. Ben Ezekiel, that's my name. It's a very possible person.
Yeah. What's the logic if someone was without a get and there was nobody around, nobody there?
Right, so it's.
I mean, that's an exaggeration, but.
Minat Torah, he can do it when he's running and then he comes in retroactively.
No one there, no running. He's at home and he's facing the four walls and he's without the get.
No, I don't think it's a good bit.
You don't need a good bit. What about Shlomo Fnei
Shlomo Fnei Bez is Minat Torah, so it's a machlokas between in our Tosfos here.
Right,
it seems that the bittul is a good bittul, but it doesn't work for the bittul is a good bittul, but it doesn't work for the kulas. Therefore, he can't go with anyone else, but I worked for the stringencies.
Yeah.
However, in Tosfos Rav Nachman, we see Mefurish by the fact that there's machlokas b'fnei kamashu mevatloi shows that that's bilo shalom based in. Even Rabbi would agree that it's not a good bittul.
Very good.
I'm sorry to interrupt. There's a shaila of halomas hadin. Halomas hadin means if someone is chayiv misa, you're not to leave him overnight. To stop the Faher when May is like ready to go, there's a question of halomas hadin. So I apologize, but I've got to run off. I've got another appointment. But I just want just for a minute, just to I think make everyone aware of what is actually going on here this evening. I know you're all here and Sheping Nachas, but I just want to contrast this to when I was in Hasmonean 25 years ago. And when I was the age of these young men, we had a gate set trip every year. But our Rebbe didn't take us to gate set for Shabbos because he said he was so embarrassed of us, he knew too many people in gate set, he took us to Manchester. So our gate set trip was in Manchester. Okay? 25 years later, we have 16 young men who have sweated blood to know 60 Tosfos beautifully. And this is a revolution. This is something which you can all, parents, grandparents, and yourselves ultimately can be very, very proud of. This is a revolution. And I'm reading at the moment to Sefer Chaim Belozhin how he changed the whole Torah world. But I think a couple of the points of Hakaras HaTov are appropriate now. First of all, to Rabbi Hartman, this revolution is really the offshoots of the whole base of Medrash, the whole base program, the last 9 years. And what has happened in Hasmonean and really in Anglo Jewry is based on the revolution that Rabbi Hartman has started. This is not the first revolution he's made in this world. second thank you really is to Rabbi Glazer. Baruch Hashem, I've been teaching for a long time. There is no one like Rabbi Glazer, who can take boys, wonderful young men, who, at the end of the year, through sweat, blood, coercion, whatever it may be, trips and threats and promises, at the end of the day, it's rooted in tremendous love and care for the boys. And you are very, very lucky. One day you will tell your children and grandchildren that you were zocher to have Rabbi Glazer as a Rebbe and Rabbi Hartman as the head of the Beis HaMedrash program.
And the Rebbe.
And the Rebbe, yeah, Mr. Hashem. And you're a very fortunate young man. Shukach to Reb Chaim to come this evening. I know you're particularly busy and to prepare and to learn and to prepare. This goes on for another hour or two. I've been there before. And yeah. By the way, you go around again a couple more times. Okay, so don't worry, you're not off the hook, okay? But a big shout to you all, and I apologize I've got to rush off, but thank you also to your parents. You should continue to see a lot of nachas and Hashem for your children, and this is not a one-year wonder. Mr. Hashem, next year we're going to do it again. If it's not Rabbi Glazer, but we'll do next Rebbe, Mr. Hashem, and then wherever you do afterwards, wherever life takes you, Mr. Hashem, you'll always be learning and remembering what you learned, Mr. Hashem.
Can you tell me, little gets, and someone has a matona and he doesn't really want it, there's a lotion you have to use. Are they the same, are they different, or why?
Okay, so in terms of get, you need to use a future tense. However, in the case of matona, you need to use a past tense.
And why?
So for a get, for a matona, you can't say that once you receive it, you can't say that it won't be mine in the future because you already received it. But what you can do is you can say that it never was mine. You can
how do you do that?
By saying that.
Yeah, how does that work? It was easy.
By denying.
How does that work?
Huh?
There's a cloud for that.
By rejecting, by.
Rashi says, what does Rashi say?
So that when you say something that you never did it yourself, to your detriment, it's believed as if it's.
You remember the words? Those?
Those but didn't create agent.
Right.
Agent on it.
Right. And what happens if he says in the future?
From matona.
Yeah. It doesn't work, right?
Matona it doesn't work. Yeah.
So they'll get rid of it if it doesn't want to. What difference does it make? He's not planning on keeping this, right? What difference does it make exactly? It's not his.
It depends if he's owed money by someone else.
He owes.
He owes money, so that's a field taxes.
And is there any case which works both for get and for matana?
Bottle who?
Why is that? Why is
Because it depends when you use it. It depends what case you're using it for. If using it for get, then it will imply future tense. If you're using it for matana, then it will imply past tense.
Very good. Interesting Gemara. We always assume he means what works. Not quite sure why. Right.
Well done.
Very good. Very nice. One more question on that last topic. What happens if the Baal use the past tense? Is there anything that has to be done? It's a bit tricky. Baal said bittul and he used the past tense.
In terms of get?
Get, yeah. Is there anything you need to do? It's a tricky question. Unfair. You know.
It's a Russian.
Yeah, that's right. It's a Russian.
What happens if you use the past tense? So you're just good to go, or something needs to be done to use this get? It's not cancelled, right? But can you just go and use it now, or does something else?
When he says bottle who, right? It doesn't work. We can't cancel a get in the past, but it does mean something. What's he saying about? He must be saying something. It's not nonsense. He's saying something. So what's he saying? He's saying something about the get. What's he saying? What do the words mean?
the get is a good get, it'll say there's something wrong with the get.
Something wrong with the get.
So we have
What
to
happens
look-
if the Baal says something's wrong with the get?
We have to look at it to see if there is something.
How do we look at it? What do we do?
So we would,
Rashi says.
well, Rashi says,
Who knows the Rashi? Yes, very good. Simple. Go on.
Bring Adam to have a look at the get.
verify.
Sky
Kiyum.
the soul. Kiyum. Excellent. Fine. Very good. A bit of a question. Yeah. Okay. Rashi. Right. What's the halacha? What's your name? Oh.
His sister's getting engaged tonight.
Wow.
Father and him are here, the Messiah's Nefesh.
Wow.
His father's house.
It's a big bracha. So part of the engagement. It's a big bracha. Right.
She did well.
If somebody says Schi get zu lishti, what's the halacha?
Schi is the same as Haila, because get isn't a good thing.
Right, so it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, it works, but you still have to give it to her. Right. Okay, go to the next Gemara. What's the machlokas if you do bittul, if you can reuse the get or not? What's the machlokas to it?
The machlokas is
What's the
following
sub the
on
machlokas?
whether the get has been cancelled or not.
So if you hold,
if the get's already been cancelled,
then obviously you
then
can't do it.
you can't use it. But if it's not been cancelled,
So what's he
it's
done
not
if he was
nourished.
without it?
Then
What's he done if he hasn't cancelled the get? So what has he
then
done?
he's just cancelled the shtiach.
Cancelled the shliach. Very good. And what happens if he says clearly, I want to be mevatel the get and not the
It's
shliach?
much more in condition.
Oh.
Because over here there isn't much length, but it's much more in condition. So it brings that it would be cancelled. If that would be what the sorry first. It specifies it would be cancelled.
Right. Can you explain what that means? How do you cancel an existing thing? What are you cancelling exactly?
He's saying specifically the get, because now he's just saying the shliach.
And how does that work with the cloud of lo yasidid mevatel maaseh?
Okay, so that was our question with Nachman. How can you cancel it? Like a battle meiser, but we say it's not considered gemar meiser until it's reached her hand.
Right. Very good. Because the get that hasn't really done anything
It's
is
not gone through it yet.
no point. Right. Not called the master. As opposed to something else that you've written. As opposed to something else that you've written.
Shliach.
No,
So you've
Tosfos. Tosfos says that same Tosfos. Tosfos says there is something which you can't cancel once you've written it.
Oh yeah, is it?
What does Tosfos say?
Oh yeah, like if someone wrote a Sifter Shmo.
Right. People are Good. Very good. So. Yeah. Then?
Yishai, fine message.
Can you move battle a get between the ksiva and the chesima? Between writing and the signing of the get?
Yes,
Why would you say that?
because it hasn't been signed yet.
And therefore?
Therefore, you can still cancel it. It's not complete.
Oh, that's not called the master. Very good.
Really?
Well?
Good to root and Tosfos how that works. Who wants to say?
Yeah, so maybe because he's only been after shliach, it's not right.
Oh yeah.
David, sorry. Or because he's not more nicer.
Good. Before Rabbi Gamliel came along, yeah, I made it a corner. Someone wanted him about to get. Well, how many people did he need to put together?
It's a machlokes between Rav Nachman and Rav Sheshes. Is that
Right.
right?
Go on.
Rav Nachman says 2 dayanim, and Rav Sheshes says 3.
Right, it's true. Yeah. And 2. Why would 2 be good? I mean, we know Bezdin is normally 3. Why would 2 be good?
Because it's doing the job of 2.
What does that mean?
So that only 2 people are needed. They're not making a decision, they're just being there to witness the act.
Very good. Who says that?
Rashi.
Very good. And that? Yeah?
I'll be credit
Not video.
Does our Gemara work necessarily with the man the Omer who holds Schneider should do with the name din, or you don't have to work with the man Schneider should do with the name din?
No, it doesn't necessarily work with that because
How do you know
because we know that Rabbi Yochanan holds there Schneider din on the name din, and he paskins here like Rav Nachman, and then we also know that the Yerushalmi as well.
How many dayanim do you need for Geras? And why?
3.
Why?
Because it's equated with Mishpat.
Mm-hmm.
And then we know
according to
that.
Shmuel,
Pardon?
and according to Shmuel,
Shmuel says 2.
yeah.
And then we know that Rabbi Yochanan doesn't hold like Shmuel there, but he holds like
That's
nothing here.
right, he doesn't hold Shmuel,
And
yeah.
then that's how we know that they're not exactly the same.
And the Gemara says here that you can use the term bezim when we talk about 2 people. Does that work always?
No.
Why not?
Because certain cases need a basin of 3, such as the case there, and such as the case of, for example, Biyan or Khalitza, we also say that we need 3. But in our case, for a job of a basin of 2, we can say that a basin of 2 is sufficient.
Where 2 is sufficient, you can call them a bed.
Basin of 2.
But where 2 don't work,
Then we
there's
assume
no way
it's
to call
3.
them a bed. Very good.
Unless you're like
Yeah, that works. Yeah, what's your name?
3 kind.
3. Why did Rabbi Gamliel make this takona that you can't be about to get in front of bed?
Because
The Mishnah says, what does the Mishnah say?
Mishnah says because Nifnei Tikkun.
Right, okay, now what does that mean?
According to Rabbi Yochanan, he holds he made it because of Takonos Mamzerim. And according to Reish
You want to
Lakish,
explain what Tkanos Mamzerim is and Tkanos Agunas? What is that?
Mamzerim is that if he cancels in front of 2, then there won't be a voice, and there won't be a call. Sorry, there won't be a call, and then it won't become widespread, and the Isha won't know that he cancelled it, and there'll be she'll go get married to Mitzvah, and she'll. But Agunas is Agunas is when you cancel it 3, and there is a call, so therefore she won't get married, and there won't be she won't get married.
Is something screamed with that Lashon Tkanos Agunas, or is that like?
Oh yeah, because over here, the normal it's not the normal case of Agunas.
Normal case of Agunas
is with the when she comes back from war, or Safid when the husband goes
but
away.
really, she could get married, she doesn't know, she's stuck, or
Yeah.
something like that, yeah.
But over
So
here,
she's stuck, she can't get married.
Yeah.
She just wants to get married, she can't. Very good. Very good. Same?
Simcha.
Firstly, how many dayanim need for principle?
2.
I'm looking between Rabbi Washburn.
No, plausible. Let me help you. There's a machlokas of Nachman and Sheshas. How many dayanim we need for B'tach HaGet? Correct?
Yeah.
And what Nachman says, I'll prove you that 2 is enough from. Relax, simple. The work is done. He worked the hardest from all the boys.
What? Pays off.
Simcha. So Rav Nachman says that you need 2 dayanim for B'tach HaGet is enough, you don't need more, and he brings a raya from. How does Rav Nachman prove that the Bezdin of Su is called the Bezdin?
Plausible.
From plausible.
Yeah.
And Rav Shesha says plausible means?
3.
We ask you.
Right. So how many people need to sign a plausible? I should rephrase that question. How many people do you need for plausible?
So according to
Correct.
Rav,
2 or 3, right?
it's my point.
Correct. So not Rav Sheshes. Now, what does the Mishnah say? What does the Mishnah seem to imply? There is a Mishnah.
The Mishnah of plausible.
So Rav Nachman says that because there's a double lashon of Pliny, so
you would say that
That
implies
seems to imply that's two.
Rav
Rav Sheshes
Sheshes says that that's not good enough because maybe the mission doesn't need to repeat the words ploni, 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 so it just says two ploni, ploni, and so therefore it's
right. Then the Gemara brings the raya from the next part of the Mishnah. The Yonah Chos Ben Amata Oyo Eidim, right? But why? What's that raya?
So yeah, so Nachman would say that's a right to prove that just like Aiden's mentioned with Danim, and therefore just like Danim is
That's
just
like
Aiden
Aiden.
is two, so two Danim.
Right.
Can be two.
And what's the point of saying the Yonah and Eidim? You don't finish there in that part of the Mishnah. The Yonah and Eidim. No, he wants to know.
No, he knows. It's simple. The next part of the Gemara asks, why does it have to say Adam and Dayanim? What does the Gemara answer?
Why do you have to say that?
Both.
What does the Mishnah tell you? The Yonah and Eidim.
He knows.
Why is the question only?
No. The Gemara asks, Lama li levisna Dayanim, we don't have to say Adam. What does the Gemara answer?
Because there's so Rashi and Tosfos said.
What does the Gemara say? Then tell us.
So the Gemara says, "Mashma kosel Rosh Dan chasmei Eidim Mashma."
Very good. Yeah. Now what does that mean?
Yeah. So Rashi, so Tosfos holds that only means that that you have to have two separate signs. So you have the Dana mentioned in the Torah, and then you have signed by Eidim, or the opposite way around. And Rashi holds it can be done by the same two people.
But the Lashon.
Different.
Change the Lashon of Bezin or the Lashon of Eidim. Very good. Very nice. Right. Tim?
One and Weinstein.
What's the halacha if Lamasa you didn't keep the Konos from Gamir and you went to your Mabatul to get? What's the halacha if you actually somebody was over the Tikkonos from Gamir, didn't keep the Tikkonos from Gamir, and was Mabatul to get in front of the bed? What would be the halacha?
Level 2.
Says under Rabbi, says Bilim Avusah.
Very good. Rabbi holds Bilim
Rashba says Bilim Ein Avusah.
Shlomo Gamliel says
Bilim Ein Avusah.
why?
Because the points from the need the call again.
My koyach bezin yofi. We gotta strengthen the koyach of a bezin. We can't ignore the koyach of a bezin. Very good. And so, in other words, Minat Torah, the get, what's the halacha of this get? Minat Torah?
You don't have a get.
No get. Hamid Rabbanon?
Is a get.
How's that like? Isn't that strange? Minat Torah, she's an Eishes Ish, and Rabbanon said the get works. How do they do that? Very good. What's that called? Call them a Kaddish. Very, very good. The rest of the question? So you can tell me, call them a Kaddish Adat Rabbanon Kaddish. What that means? Very nice. Call them a Kaddish Adat Rabbanon Kaddish. What does that mean?
Yes.
Called Mekadesh we're only Mekadesh based on the fact that the Bnei Yisrael and the Rabbanon stand Eidos, that we allow them to get married. So we say that only if the Rabbanon approve of them being married could they be married. Therefore, if we don't, if they are Mavatal to get in front of two and we don't, and this is over on Rabbi Shimon Gamliel's Takana, we're able to retroactively.
Why are you talking about the front of two? Let's talk about front of three first. Two is different.
No, two.
Right in front. So we say we can retroactively uproot the marriage, even though he was over.
There's another Pshat Rashi. You know the other Pshat Rashi?
That we learn Kiddush Kesef from a Gzera Shava, and the Rabbanon of Rashi say that is therefore only the Rabbanon, even though it's a Gzera Shava, and therefore they're able to uproot it, and they bring arrive from the fact that Rashi asks on that, how could you say that Gzera Shava is the Rabbanon? It's from the Torah, even though it's not explicit, you still say it's the Raisa.
Right, we're going back to the first one. We're going back to the first one. You call Mekadosh Adat Rabban Mekadosh. But what happens if the Rabban say the Kedushin is cancelled? How exactly? Let's go to Kedusha Kesef. What exactly did the say or do to make the Kedushin not work?
According to Rashi himself.
First one, yeah.
So you say since they were only Makadesh with the knowledge of Neishah, and the Kesef itself is able to it becomes a matana, and therefore it uproots the marriage.
One more question. It's really tricky. Is there okay? Is there a way that someone was Bavatal gets and in front of three, even Shemi Gamliel would agree that the bit works?
Bavatal in front of three.
Yeah, only in front of three. Shleibif Nerishal. It's over to cause of Gamliel, and the mass is the bit is going to go through.
It's a tricky one.
Yeah, it's
I'm going to help him.
Yeah.
The Shmuel Gamliel is based on Kol Mekadosh, right?
Yeah.
The Tosfos answered Kasha that Kol Mekadosh is a bit of a dangerous thing. Why? Yecholim, Mam, Yiftor, right? Tosfos answered Chaper. And what's the second answer of Tosfos to that question? What's Rabbi Nutam's answer? What's Rabbi Nutam's answer to that question? Does it always work, this trick? Anytime I decide I want to do a battle,
only if they haven't got intention.
Oh, very good. Okay, what's your name?
Reb Zev.
Oh,
Gamliel is watching. He doesn't like Faher. He's one of the Choshev boys in this class. I promised him at the beginning of the year.
Like me, just watch it.
It's like a Rebbe Hartman.
Ask you a question.
Yeah. That's big.
Right. Oh, good. Tosis quotes a Gemara like Yechava Basachoyse. What is that referring to?
Okay, it's regarding someone who has married his niece, and we say, yeah, sorry.
What are we talking about?
And so the Gemara says what's going to happen is so that she's going to be caught doing snus with someone, and then the husband won't want her to, yeah. So he's going to send her a get, and he's going to be battle in front of Beis Din, meaning
what's
that.
The Gemara that Tosis is quoting. That's not the case.
Sorry.
The case that the Gemara.
He wants to know that Tosis proves that this is a problem from a certain case.
He proves from Nozir.
No.
No,
Tosis asks Shema Yechaper.
Yechava Basachoyse. Where Tosis is quoting something. Where's it come from? Yechava Basachoyse. Where does that come from? There's a specific case that Tosis is coming from. The Gemara that Tosis is quoting. Yeah.
You have to go to the Simcha. Actually,
Yeah.
you can ask another question to
No problem.
Avram Leah before he goes.
Well,
It's good.
Thank you very much.
yeah, what's the look
Avram Leah, one more question.
we had a machloek say Rabbi and Shemi Gamliel bit levutul bit levutul. Is a svara to say that sometimes everyone would agree to the svara by koyach bezin yosher?
Yeah.
By bit laget.
Yeah. We see by the
Now,
case.
the Gemara is referring to a bittul b'fnei shloisha. Is there a case where everyone agrees that you can mevatel a get? It's not going to work. Everyone agrees to Makoy Bazil, even Rabbi.
Oh, well, there was the case with Shuma Rionim.
No, Bitla Get one. The case by Bitla Get, he was mevatel the get. He was mevatel the get, and everyone agrees Makoy Bazil, and it doesn't work.
Favorite Tosis. Your favorite Tosis.
We've gone back a drop. That's all.
What's your favorite Tosis in Hashanah? No, the one after. Yes? Tosfos says that it's sometimes possible, in a certain case, that someone is mevatel b'fnei bezdin, and still it's ein mevutel, yeah, even according to Rabbi. B'fnei bezdin, and it's ein mevutel even according to Rabbi. Why? How and why?
Is it if
Even in front of a bezdin.
if
Yeah?
Rabbi would hold in the Shabbat,
Oh, yes.
if Rabbi would hold the Shabbat Miksasa, Botla Kula, which he doesn't, but if he would hold that, then
Paul Rav who does, yeah.
yeah, then in that
But you're right, Rabbi would.
then
yeah.
in that case we would not allow it. And the reason for that is because we allow that by B'tel Get because there's not such a big it's not such a big worry of Mum's own. Because if he gives the get, if the Shiach finds out if he gives the get, he won't give, or if she finds out if she gets to
Very good, very good. I actually wasn't referring to that case, but you're right. I was looking. Oh, that's what I was
You said in front of them.
I said not in front of them.
Oh, sorry.
No problem. He's very good. He
He
answered
answered
very
even
well.
better.
Yeah, very good. Excellent. That's what
Only a
it is.
well-known-
What about when it's shaloi b'fnei bezdin?
Shaloi b'fnei bezdin.
Shaloi b'fnei bezdin.
What happens if a person is mevatel shaloi b'fnei bezdin?
Then everyone agrees with what goes bezdin.
Right. Why is that?
Because that is that is the
Tosfos
worst thing.
on Lamed Beis on Beis at the bottom. Right at the bottom, remember? Something to do with the dent.
Oh yeah, because even though they may allow a bezdin of two, that makes more of a, at least it's better than
Bezdin of three.
According to Rav Sheshes, you need three, but if you have two,
you
it's
have
no
two, although it's not three, it still makes a dent, a bigger dent.
No, other way around. According to Rav Sheshes, you need three.
Yeah.
And what happens if you do it in front of two, according to Rav Sheshes?
According to Rav Sheshes,
There's no animal. Why?
Because it's not three.
Why? Because it doesn't take care of Mamzer. And according to Rav Nachman, who allows two,
Yeah.
what happens if you don't do it in front of two? Also animal. Why not?
Because that doesn't take care of.
What's the difference between two and less than two? Because two at least makes a dent.
Yeah, this does something.
Very good. Fine.
Mazel tov, Avraham. Thank you so much for being part of this class. It wouldn't be the same without you.
I'm sorry for, I'm going to apologize. Also, I'm sorry for to interrupt. It's really amazing what's happening here tonight. What Rabbi Glazer relentlessly never gave up, and asked, and Rabbi Glazer shows all of us that we should not give any reductions to Talmidim and have Rachmanis and say, let's understand them, they have A levels, they have GCSEs, and we can't pressure them. Rabbi Glazer tells us, and he obligates all of us, that we should not settle anything less than the best. And look at the way you guys know the Gemara and the Tosfos. And I dare to say that the peers in your class do not know the Gemara that well. They don't. They don't have nothing close to what you guys know. And the difference is because Rabbi Glazer said the message, I demand the most. I demand from you because you could do it. And it's so appropriate for this parsha. If you really, really want something, you're going to get it. We never had a parallel of a J2 group. And again, I'm not so a big class on J1, J2, J3. They're all neshamas, Yiddish neshamas. And since it was mentioned, that performed the way this well until Rabbi Glazer showed us why not. What's the chiddush? Let's push it. What are you guys lacking? You have the brains, you have a neshama, you have everything. Who says we have to expect less? That's what I learned from Rabbi Glazer. And when Rabbi Glazer says the whole year that he gets 16 G's, it's 16 great. That's what you mean because there's 16 boys there. Each one is a great kid. It's Pasha, that's what it means, Rabbi Glazer. And I want to tell you, Rabbi Glazer, the emet, you are mechayev all of us. That you don't give a study leave is bupkis, bank holiday is bupkis, everything is ridiculous. It's all different names for Bidul Torah. And if you really want to do it, if you want to do it, you do it. And I think it's an unbelievable message what you guys are doing. I can tell you when I was 40 years ago going to yeshiva, it's the first time I heard of the name Hasmonean, and there were some boys there from Hasmonean in my yeshiva. I remember they were the Chesed project of the yeshiva. You lived with them Ben Azdam, Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, Chumash Rashi. I promise you. I promise you, a lot of them today, some of them today are good friends of mine here, and you probably know their names. And what Rabbi Glazer is showing you is that the first thing that you got to know is how to read. And when you know how to read, then everything will follow. If you have to read, you get the Gemara, Rashi takes this. And the way, I have such another way, the Rav's asking his questions, what's the assert, clear-cut. When things are clear, this belongs here, this belongs here, this belongs there. And that's also a trademark of Rabbi Glazer. So I just want to, sorry for that, for interrupting. I have to go to Sheva Brachas tonight, which started about half an hour ago, in Edgeworth somewhere, which I don't even know where. I hope I get there for the main course, so that's what I hope. But anyway, boys, I really want to first of all say to you and to the parents and grandparents, this is just the beginning. Rabbi Glazer just showed us what to expect from your children. And 10 years from now, there's no reason in the world that any of these boys should not be a mess of Talmud Chacham. And if it didn't happen, it's not due to lack of ability. The ability is there, we just now need the Ratzon. And if the Ratzon will fall, everything else will fall in place. And I want to wish Rabbi Glazer, who's a Yedid Nefesh of mine, that it's Gavaldic what you're doing here, Rabbi Glazer. It's just Gavaldic. It's amazing how you, and sometimes I would think to myself, Rabbi Glazer, maybe you should give up. I never said to him, I think Shemam Forish. But maybe, what can you do? It's just impossible. No, but Rabbi Glazer never gave in, and you're going to see, when you're going to look backwards, when you'll be 20, when you'll be 30, 40, 50 years old, you're going to say, I had a Rebbe that really showed us how simcha, how much simcha there is when you're learning Torah. And Rabbi Glazer, it's not a job by him teaching. He's not a math teacher, a biology teacher, which are doing a fine job, those people. It's not a job. It's a life. It's a mission. And you guys are the first one to know it. So with that kind of Mesiras Nefesh, Rabbi Glazer, for sure you're going to have Tzlacha.
Amen.
You know that. I want to conclude really that because you got Reb Chaim Voloshin asked the Vilna Gaon, what's the secret of Tzlacha? What's the real key? And they're going to 2 words: Ha'akshan Yatzliach. If you're stubborn, you'll be successful. That's all. That's what they're going to say. That's right to do. And again, Rabbi Glazer personifies that. If you don't give in, it's going to happen. I want to wish you all, Barsai, have a good summer, and Mitzvah Hashem come back with all the treasures that you gained from this project of Rabbi Glazer. And in Mitzvah Hashem, you're just going to be you're going to be that much higher than all the peers who did not have this experience, and you can go straight already into the next level, Ad B'lidai. Shkoyach, Shkol Tov. Batzlacha. Is it a Tfilas Shabbos? No, is it a Tfilas Shabbos? Is it Batzlacha? Okay, Tov.
Sorry, so.
What's the case of Shem Yechabel B'Sachoyser? This is good.
The Aiden came and they warned her thing, and they said and they sent her a get.
Where you go? Get there's something missing.
Sorry?
What's missing in that get? Something missing from the get. There's a trick involved here. There's a trick.
We say that it's not going to get because he's then going to be based and he's going to be godly.
No, not Bittul. I'm not going to case of a different case. Tosus is quoting.
Where does Tosfos get the concept from? That we're scared that a man will do something to get his niece off the hook, out of trouble. What's the case? You know it. 100% you know it.
You wrote a get and something missing from the get. Leave out some crucial information from the get.
Oh, the date.
Oh, right. How does that help?
Because if he puts the date,
if there's no date.
yeah, if there's no date on it, then he can say, well, it doesn't matter because
Get predated.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
which we have.
Yeah. What's the straw Sophie? What does that mean?
So basically, if so they'll give us they'll give a warning that she can't do the Faher and that she has to thing, and then the husband won't want her to receive punishment, so he'll go to Beis Din and cancel the get.
What's it mean as straw Sophie?
Well, it's Hasra Savik. It's a doubtful Hasra. It's doubtful warning.
Right. And in this case, where is it coming? Where's Tosa bring it in?
Because the husband will use it in order to get his wife out.
Because if they aid him, if Asra, they can't be sure because what could happen still?
Because she could then go and get divorced. And get cancelled.
Divorce not going to help.
Yeah.
Cancel it, which is retroactive, means they were never married.
And that includes the death penalty. You can never give the death penalty to a Shazinasa, and also a Shazinsa, sorry, and a Nazir as well. You can never, because you'll say, I'll Tishta, don't drink, and then he'll, even if he goes and drink, he'll just recount his Naziris.
How will he do that?
He will say.
How will he undo his Nazir?
He'll go to Beis Din and say that. Yeah.
Right. So what's Takada? It's against Asra.
Because we say that we go like the Rabbi of Klal Yisrael, and we believe the rights and we believe that the majority of Bnei Yisrael wouldn't do that. They wouldn't divorce, give a get and then cancel the Nisuin. And then we say, and we also say about the Bnei Yisrael, we say that we trust the Bnei Yisrael won't.
There's another halachic concept that we use to say that it's not going to change. What is that?
Illegal. Is that it? Yeah,
Begins
illegal.
with a ches. You know, look at it. Things stay the same. You know. Hazokah. You remember?
Status quo.
Yeah. If she's now an HSH, we assume
Yeah, we
she will
assume
remain
she-
an
yeah.
HSH.
If the status of if the status now. Yeah, we say if the status now is that she's married, then we believe that.
Very good. Very, very nice.
There's a boy here whose grandfather was Rabbi Rabbi from Southampton, Southampton, and he's leaving soon. So actually, you could ask him a question, and then we can go to his grandfather.
Yeah, no problem.
Mayor over there.
The mayor.
Smoke came in.
Oh. What's da noch? Can you be over from the kuchas to the Nuval Peh?
Sorry?
Can you be over from the kuchas? Can you take money from the kuchas to Nuval Peh?
Somebody lent somebody money and they don't write a shtar. Right? So what's the difference between writing a shtar and not writing a shtar? You want the process on the Beit Glossa. Remember what that Tosfos says? Can I help you, Meir, a bit? The Gemara said that 2 people make a coil.
And we have the
Don't make a
cases.
coil and 3 do.
We have a case with 3 where they don't make a coil.
What's that case?
That case is where when you lend out
money.
When you lend out money, and you have a.
Did you write a shtar?
You write a shtar.
Did you or did you not write a shtar? What's the difference if you write a shtar and if you don't write a shtar? Go on. Alex, want to help him out? Alex.
You can't get the shubad, you can't take from the
Lekuchas. Who are the lekuchas?
Pardon?
Who are the lekuchas?
The people who take from the guy who borrows, the person
Who bought from him.
him, they can't take on the shubad that, because even if you do it in front of many people, people won't tell anyone that they've lent. People will do it very secretly and they'll also even lie. So therefore, even if it's in front of more than 2 people, there still won't be a call.
Right, and where's there a case where with two there is a call?
So when you sell your field, even with Ada and with two people, there'll still be a call because it's public knowledge that you're selling it, and therefore there'll be a call.
Very good. Very good. Would you like
To me, yeah.
Yeah. 10 people have been told to write a get. Let's go through it. 10 people have been told to write a get. Do they all have to sign a get? Can some of them sign a get?
They all have to.
Is that always like that? Sometimes like that?
It depends on.
What did he say? What nusach did he say when he spoke to 10 people? If he says clearly kolchem,
Then you read all of them.
right? If he didn't say kolchem,
If it doesn't say kolchem, then you.
they don't.
Then you don't.
Very good. They don't all need to write. Now, what happens if he wants to be mevatel some of them? He
So
wants to keep some on board and some he wants to throw out.
it's machlokes between Rabbi and Rabbi. So Rabbi says that you are able to be mevatel just.
Yeah.
Rabbi said that you're able to be mevatel some of them. Yochel vatel zeh shlokes. Yochel vatel zeh shlokes. And Rabbi says that you have to have them all together.
And what's the machlokes? Why should
So
you
the
use that?
machlokes is Elish wasn't so.
Is more than one shot in the machlokes?
Yeah.
Is it maybe more than one shot in the
Yeah,
machlokes?
for.
What's the first shot?
So for Rabbi, the first shot is he based it on the logic of saying that he holds that you need to have them all together because when you're mevatel one or two of them, it's mevatel all of them.
Right. So what's
Therefore, he
going
said
on?
that you have to do. Therefore, he said that when you cancel them, you have to do them all together.
Because if not, it's like a bit of shliver phone.
Yeah.
Right.
And the second one is that he says any comments which update based on mishpah. Because once you make it in front of a certain amount of people, you have to cancel it with the same package in front of the same amount of people.
Excellent. And is there enough community between those two shows?
What would be the difference if you go with the first chart in Rajag or the second chart?
Is if you say kolchem.
Right. So explain.
So we bring when we're working out which one to prove.
Why is according to which lashon is what the halacha by kolchem? Which lashon still has the problem and which doesn't?
So when you say kolchem, then why do you need to do it in front of 10? Then why do you need mishpah?
When you say kolchem, so they all know.
They all know they're not going to act independently. So then why do you say?
So which version goes away when you say kolchem?
The first one.
Correct.
The first.
Excellent. Very good. Very good. This klal that we.
Yeah.
This klal of tzivah by Sol Mishpah. Is that the right or the Rabbanon?
It's to
Good. How do you know?
Actually, I didn't teach it. Yeah. I'm in the Marshall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
Why it's to Rabbanon? How we know?
Yeah.
Let me ask you a different way. What happens if you cancel some of the 10?
If you
Are the ones that you
no,
cancelled?
they're not cancelled. They are not cancelled now.
Why not?
Because we say that if even the ones which you cancelled like right in front of them, you would think they're cancelled because it's like before the shliach, which is the highest level to cancel. But we say we don't want. We say we made a general rule of mishlefa. We made the general rule. We made the general rule that this rule with 10, if you can't cancel any. So even the ones which you cancelled right in front of you, you think they're cancelled.
Tosfos asked a kasha. Tosfos asked why the ones that he cancelled not cancelled. Who is Tosfos addressing this question to? The first child of the Gemara or the second child of the Gemara? Where's the needle going in?
The second. No, sorry, the first.
Well, if it's not the second, then it's the first.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why did you say, what do you mean? Why is this? Tosfos asked a kasha. Who is he asking on and why?
He's asking on.
The heading might be misleading. We discussed it in class. Salim, you want to say?
Well, in the Lashon of Tosfos, it says, talks about the Takana. We learn in our shop that he says it's actually the wrong heaven, and it will go in the first man.
Why? Because Mishlecha, it's not Shver. Why the first two are not counted? Why not?
If you appointed them.
Is that a din d'oraisa or a din d'rabbanan?
What we learned was a din d'oraisa.
Yeah.
Very good. Very nice. What happens if you appoint two agents right after you and you did one here, one there? They haven't seen each other. They were the Malin Shnei. They work or not?
It depends what their job is. If they're writing the get or if they're just delivering it.
They're writing it.
If they're writing it, then it's as if it's like you said, kolchem, and that they have to go together. And
Whenever you appointed them, it's not one in front of the other. The time of appointment, there's only one there.
It doesn't work.
You sure and why?
Because we say in the Gemara that we asked a case like this, surely it should be like kolchem, but we say that they are.
Chaim asked you what happens if you appointed them separately.
They can't.
It's a mafurish with
they can deliver, but they can't write.
If you appointed them
They
separately.
can they write? Can they write again? If we
No.
appointed separately. Does anybody disagree or let's see why? Let's go to the why and then tell me.
What? Because you need two when you write again.
You have to.
No,
You
but
have
they're
to.
not together. They need
They
to
weren't
be
appointed together. What's wrong with that?
Because when you do the signing, and when you sign it and write it, it has to be in front of two.
They can sign it together. They've just been appointed separately. Can Adam see something separately? They witness something.
Then they're not Adam.
They're not a pair.
They're not a pair. Adam's two.
Two together.
Two together.
Everyone agrees with that?
Oh.
Rashbam.
Good morning. Solomon?
Very good. Yeah. So machlokas. Yeah. So machlokas whether when you have Adam and two separate, whether one and one can pair up. Very good. Fine. What other cases when you want to discuss an issue Makoya present of two more times you want to discuss this Makoya present of?
So, like Shema Dayana.
Yeah.
So, based on evaluated a field for the marble to be over. And if they made a mistake of more than a sixth, then initially Rabbi says you can go against their ruling, but then a few people said, what about Maflech based on Yafa? And he was close and went like Rabbi
You say more than a sixth, I think it's exactly a sixth. It's a shtick. Yeah, shtick, very good. And Mechokes Makabena, very good.
But then eventually Rabbi agrees to Rabbi Shimon.
Very nice. And one more time before we bring down the Shadi Makabena present also.
By the Yosemite, Shabbat Lachlik Menetzi Rabbi. So an initial halakha was made line up the chocolates, and when they grew up, so machlekes between
They can be modified.
yeah, well, they can change them.
Alright.
He did it.
And is there any swara to Mechalik between?
So, Rav Nachman is Mechalik between Lamed and Surah, and then it's Machlekes and two Turets and Tosfos whether Rav Yosef agrees to it in Tassim and Lamed Surah.
Very good. Very nice.
Like saying that whether he agrees to him or
yeah, isn't it? It's on your place.
Yeah.
Say that again?
Jamie.
Only.
Oh, Bruce Bononi. Right, okay. Oh, Sonia. Yeah. What is exactly meant by Gilidat and Gitza? What does that mean?
So Gilitas to me is the idea that you reveal your intent regarding the revelation of intent regarding wanting to have cancelled, having wanted to have cancelled the get.
And does that work?
So it's machlokes.
Between?
By and Rabbi.
Yeah, what do you pass the night?
We pass the Rabbi.
Good. the Gemara brings here a story. Someone was being forced to get a get. What did he say? What did that man say that the Gemara wanted to prove from their Gilidat? Someone was being forced to give a get.
So he said, so he went up to the people he'd appointed to, he'd been forced to appoint to write again. He said, Rosh Hashanah wanted me to be Vatal again.
Right.
So we tried to use that as a raya that Gilidas. Gilidas is Gilidas works.
Did Rav Sheshes require another get there or not?
Oh right, sorry. And then we see that Rav Sheshes had to go and went and wrote another get, and so we try to use that as a raya that Gilidas there's a Gilidas works. However, then so because it seems that he's shown Gilidas that he wants it cancelled, and we see that Rav Sheshes went and wrote another get. However, Rabbi would reply that so what really happens here.
Rav Sheshes.
All right. So what really happened is the guy cancelled it, and he knew he was going to get beaten up if they found out.
How do you know that's what happened? Maybe that's not what proves that. It has to be this story. Why does it have to be this story? Can't possibly be he said something else.
What do Rav Sheshes? What does that mean?
Oh right, yeah. So would Rav Sheshes really want it? Rav Sheshes had appointed them. Would Rav Sheshes really come along and?
It's not his job.
Yeah. Oh right, sorry. Yeah. It's not up to Rav Sheshes. Yeah. It's not up to Rav Sheshes to be one. So right, yeah. So he's going to get beaten up and so therefore basically in his defence to kind of get him off his back, you'd say Rav Sheshes told me to do it.
Right. So you must have clearly given the bit more.
Yeah.
Very good. Right. Yeah. What's not okay? Someone is running after someone that wants to be Mevatel the get. Would that be considered to be the das?
Right, so it won't be as if it's not received by anyone else. So even according to Rabbi, who says Gilidas Gita Milsa, he only says it when it's got to be at least heard and transmitted and received to at least the Shliach, Isha or Beis Din.
But if he's running and he's trying to
the
run,
Shliach seeing him running, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, so Rabbi says sometimes the Shliach will think that he's just telling him to hurry up.
Very good. And what was the story there? The bridge.
Right, so there was so with the river.
Yeah.
The river, fine. So a certain man said, if I don't come within a certain amount of 30 days, then this get is a good get. And then he comes, but he's on the wrong side of the river, and he's saying, look, I'm here. And so Rabbi is using that as proof. Look, and Shmuel said that the get is a good get. And so Shmuel, that seems to be a right for Rabbi. The Gilidas means a love see. But Rav will say that's not right. Why? Because he only says Gilidas begins a milsi when he's coming to be about to the get. When he's just saying that I've fulfilled my tonight, he hasn't fulfilled this tonight, so it doesn't.
And he wasn't about to the get.
Yeah, he wasn't about to the get. That's not what he was showing. He was showing that I'm here.
Beautiful. What does Ein Onis Begitten mean?
Pardon?
What does Ein Onis Begitten mean?
Right. So that's with regards to the next two cases, and we say because it's a similar sort of case where he said I'll be here by a certain time, and then he's not here. So we say what excuse could we say that maybe this get shouldn't be a good get? Maybe it wasn't oinus, maybe it was like uncontrolled circumstance. We say no, there's no concept of it. There's ain't got oinus begitten. So that's not an excuse.
Very good. We'll go back to our approval number.
Yes.
Oh. What's your name?
Jacob de Villa.
Burg Yankov or Yankov Burg? Yeah.
Right. Zman hazeh, Shvius. Mit der Teure, mit der Rabbanon. Now I'm talking about Shvius, working in the land.
So according to the Rasta, Shemitah is Meshomet, but according to...
I'm not talking about Meshomet. I want to know working on the land. Zman hazeh. Is that also mit der Teure or mit der Rabbanon?
He's asking specifically, he's asking not about Shemitah's Pesachim. He's asking, can you plow and sow the land today, now, after the Chol Beis Hamikdash? Yes or no?
According
to
the Torah,
not asking Shmitas Ksov, he's asking Shmitas Kav. It's a different question.
No, because the land, I think, wasn't holy. The land wasn't holy, so therefore, after the second Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, so therefore, carrying planting, you can't do that during. You can, so you can do that during now.
Yeah.
Okay, the Gemara talks about three things here, or at least Rashi talks about three things. Talk about Yovel, Shmitas Karka, Shmitas Ksov. What are they all three things?
So, Yovel is talking about in the 50th year.
And how many things are dependent on Yovel? Can you tell me?
Two.
Go on, I thought.
So, when there's
You mean?
How many halachas in the Torah are dependent on Yovel?
No, what happens in Yovel? What happens?
So, since there's
what do you mean?
Yovel,
No, what do you mean? What leads up?
That's it.
so if there's Yovel, then Yovel leads to there being Shmitas Karka and then full being Shmitas Kasofa.
Yovel itself, what's the halacha? The halacha of Yovel itself. What happens with Yovel? All the kakois that you bought,
The land
you
goes,
bought,
goes back.
goes back. Is there any other halacha in the Torah that's dependent on Yovel? Something you can have or can't have depending on Yovel.
What other thing, unrelated?
Unrelated to our Gemara, Bechlal.
No, what
Maybe
depends
related
on
to
Yovel?
another sunnah.
Can you have an ice cream in Yovel? When there's no Yovel? I mean, I'm just saying, like, what other things, what other halachas depend on whether Yovel applies or whether Yovel doesn't apply? You know.
Tosis proves something. Let's go. Tosis proves something about whether Yovel works.
Yeah. So there's two proofs.
No.
That there is Yovel.
Yeah.
So the first proof is talking about Ashraf offerings. When there's a half shipka, half base and half free, and she would go and get married to an Eved Ivri,
right.
and that someone would come and then.
So Tosfos says that this could not happen unless
there is Yovel.
Why?
Because the Eved Ivri has to give Ashraf offerings, and Eved Ivri only apply when there is Yovel.
Okay. Eved Ivri is Torah Yovel. That's what we were looking for.
Yeah.
Very good. Well done.
And
right.
Yes.
So the second proof.
Just answer the question. What other law of the Torah? What other parsha in the Torah?
So the house, the office where they would go and claim their house back within 1 year.
Okay.
Very good. Fine.
Excellent.
What about you?
Yisha.
So fruits will work when I Torah with Rabbanon.
The Rabbanon. Now Torah. Minat Torah. Machlokes. Rashi Tosfos.
Right. So.
No, let's not. If he knows, he knows. Otherwise, he can say, I'll be credited.
It's Machlokes.
Right, go on.
Explain
what's the
it.
According to Rashi, it's Min HaTorah.
You remember the nusach of I'll be credited? You want me to remind you? If you don't know, then say you don't know. There's no shame. There's no shame.
I have insufficient knowledge to answer that question.
Okay. So, we pass it to you
Remember the Sifri?
Yeah.
The Rashi places where
I know this.
Okay, so go on.
He does know.
What's that to do with this?
But Reb Chaim asked you, is Pruzbul work with the Raisa? Or does Pruzbul work with the Rabbanon?
Yeah, Sifri is that it means that Shemitah.
When the Gemara asks the question at the beginning of the Sugya, is the Gemara asking how or why? Let's go that way.
There's a machlokes, right? According to Tosfos, it's why, because we know there's a Sifri.
So what do you mean? So we know the Sifri, so what? So go on.
Sifri, we know. What was the original question?
Okay. Avi, you can.
No, I've got this.
Avi, you answer.
Go on.
What, the how I question that you were asking?
No, Reb Chaim asked you a direct question.
Yeah.
Does Prusbul work with the Raisa or with the Rabbanon?
Right, so it's not local between, well, firstly, Rashi Rabbeinu Tam, as in this month, but I'm saying Tosfos bring on as
Prusbul.
Does Prusbul work with the Raisa or with the Rabbanon?
It's Machlokas, Rashi and Tosfos.
Right, go on.
Explain the Machlokas.
Rashi says that since Yovel isn't Noah, then
Prusbul, not so much Schmitzer. Prusbul, not
Fine. So Tosfos said it's Raisa.
Why?
Because he brings us to free.
So therefore,
And the Sifri says the whole concept of Moshe Jerusalem is derived
So
from
so where's Hillel come into the picture?
Pardon?
What did Hillel do?
So Hillel promoted the loophole.
Oh.
In other words, he encouraged people to be over mitzvah, which was to give their loans. No, to
Hillel encouraged people to get around.
to get around giving
right.
them.
Good. And according to the other Pshat, what do we do with the Sifri?
Rashi would answer that the main focus of the Sifri is on Malbal and Amashkin and the concept that Moshe Jerusalem is suggested this master.
Very good. Very good. If Prusbul works with Rabbanon, should we go back to you? If Prusbul works with Rabbanon, how can that work? How does it work? If Prusbul only works with Rabbanon, will it work in Shmita Deraisa?
What's the kasha?
Prusbul is, if it Prusbul only works with Rabbanon, that means when Torah you don't owe a penny.
Yeah.
And Rabbanon made Prusbul. How does that work?
There's two answers, right?
Yeah, there are, possibly.
Next page, that they can tell.
It's not so simple, but maybe. Yeah.
The Gemara asked a question. The Gemara understood Shmita was no Raisa, or me committed.
Yeah. How we answer that?
What's the first answer?
How many answers are there for that first question?
I thought there were two.
We thought wrong.
There's one. Let me just have
What's the first answer?
Let me just have a look for it. Give me a sec.
Steve, go on.
It says it's Bishmish, this one says.
That's the first answer. She's the one said Rabbanon. Is there a second answer?
We say that since Karkas and
That's the first answer.
Is there another answer to the question?
No.
Simcha. Is there another answer to the first kasha of the Gemara? Omi committee with the Raisa Masham Tesvis, and then
Why it says Rishis as long as that?
Yes.
According to Rabbi.
Right. Who says it?
Rashi says
Oh, Tazoi. Very good. Rashi says. And how do we know Hefka doesn't Hefka?
Because it's a have question. It's a have good.
Where do we know Hefka doesn't Hefka from?
From where do we learn?
Because with Ezra he says that whoever doesn't come within the next 3 days, I'm going to take away their property. And there was another case with Rosh Hashanah. We compare Rosh Hashanah. Why do we compare Rosh Hashanah? Because just as the Ovis could take money away from.
Is there any difference between where you learn Hefka doesn't Hefka from?
Yes, because with the Rosh Hashanah you'll get you're taking and then giving.
Good. Excellent. What does it mean, Hillel Adoritikun?
So yes, so the Gemara asked the Dori.
What does it mean, Hillel Adoritikun?
That did Hillel set up Prusbul for his generation or
his generation?
Or his generation.
You sure that's what it means, his generation?
So Tosis says that is it his generation or the generation just after?
Why does Tosis say that?
Tosis says that because we have a problem because Tosis proves from 2 proofs that Yovel was Noeg, and therefore if Yovel was Noeg, then we have a problem with Hillel because then it's like.
When did Hillel live?
Hillel would have lived in time of Yovel.
Very good. Fine. Excellent. What kind of bezdin do you need for Prusbul? Firstly, how many dayanim do you need?
Need 3.
There's another question for that. Right. What kind of a bezdin do you need?
Based on strong in wisdom and numbers.
No.
For the Prusbul itself.
The Prusbul itself.
Shmuel. What does Shmuel say?
Can you use any three people for principle? Or they have to
be the
what's the most version?
לא יקסבין on principle, אלו בבית דינה. Remember them well?
Alimi? Alimi.
Roma Shmuel.
If it's in the basin of Teshua and Mahadah, which is the strongest.
Right. Good. And do you need what's Tosis say about that? First, what do you want to prove from that? What does the one want to prove from that?
That's not easy to.
And therefore, so what do you see from that? There is a Takana or not a Takana?
There is a Takana.
You more want to prove that the Takana was only for his.
For his generation.
Because if it was for every generation, then why should you need to have Dafka Bezin like Bezin Chosh? But what's the more that says no, that's not proof, why not?
Because it's specifically for his generation.
No, someone says it wasn't specific to his generation. But even still, when he enacted that Takana, he was a stipulation that you have to do it with a
basin similar to that.
That's right. Very good. Excellent. Okay. Very nice. Can one Bezin be Mevatel Divrei Bezin Chaver?
Only if it says two Pshat and Tosfos. Only.
What's the Gemara?
Yeah, the Gemara says and based in Yachlevata and in Godel Choshev Minyan. They have to be Choshev Minyan. That based in can only cancel the Takana of another based in unless they're greater in numbers and in wisdom.
Right. And Tos says that always like that, not always like that.
So we find the problem.
Is there a time when you can be Mevatel without it?
Yeah, if it's not part, no part.
Good. And if it's Pasha, can you be Mevatel?
No one can cancel even if any.
Is that always like that?
Unless it, so with Yud Chestova we say.
Oh, very good. And what was different about Yud Chestova?
Yud Chestova, they risked their lives when they were massacring the based on Beis Hillel and Beis Shammai, the Talmud, and they were fighting with each other.
Very good. So?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a case where you don't need crucible? Crucible not necessary. Job done.
You talking about
No.
That's about time. When is there a case when even though the Malva didn't write the crucible, it says if he wrote the crucible? As if. No, it's there, you know it.
Oh, you saw me.
Why?
Because Rabbi Gamliel basically like his brothers.
Right, it was automatic.
Yeah.
Can you tell me any other cases where Shvius is not the Shaman to the approval not necessary?
No, tell me a scenario where you lend someone money, you didn't write a protocol, but Schmidt is not the Shaman.
There's a few cases, I'm not asking for one.
You know the case.
So you lent someone money?
Lend someone money.
You didn't write a protocol.
And Shvius still on chapter 3.
You know
Is it? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Rabbi Yitzchak.
Yes.
Rabbi Yitzchak.
Right.
Right. So of course, right. So Ma'amad Mashkin, and then we say Rabbi Yitzchak comes on and he says that we're kind of
right. Yeah. Okay. To write crucible, you need karaka. Who needs karaka?
So
who needs to have learner? Why?
Or the Meshuvet.
Or
the Chiyuv.
Yeah, that's the same
Chayiv,
thing.
Chayiv or the yeah.
What about someone else?
The
yeah.
The Meshuvet.
Who's the Meshuvet?
The guy who
the Ori.
Yeah.
The guarantor.
Yeah, the guarantor.
Oh,
the Ori.
Right.
Ori.
Yeah. Now why do you need karaka?
You need karaka because karaka is a guarantee. As we say in Tosfos, you need karaka because karaka is a common thing that people, you can't destroy karaka, therefore you need karaka. And it was a common thing that anyone who they would write a principle, everyone would only write it if the lover or the
only lend
money. Sorry, people only lend money if they had the karaka.
At what point in time do you need to have that karaka?
You need to have the car at the end.
According to this chart.
We learned that.
Yeah, okay. So, no problem. Yeah, according to this chart, you need it what? Anyone know?
You need it at the
We saw it in the run, I don't know
Yeah.
if you remember. But we didn't have it. I don't have it.
No problem. Right. And how much karka does the Levi need to have?
any amount. You can see
Why is that?
from the story of our buyer, he kept on coming back to get the amount.
Well,
because we
so
say
means
that
another shot?
Karka has no.
So this means another shot.
He just said it.
A karka.
Hasn't.
Yeah, right. Someone who doesn't have karka, the Levi doesn't have karka. Any way around the problem?
The person lending him the money can give him karka, or
What happens if he doesn't want to?
He can give
Why? I
it
can
to
assume he doesn't want to. Well, he's not here.
if the borrower doesn't know, if he knows that he's giving him karka and he doesn't want it, he can decline it.
Obviously, right.
But
Very
we
good.
can give it to him without him even knowing.
Which
because
which
karka
which
is
cloud?
a
Which cloud is
good
that?
thing.
What's that cloud called? You know, Zochen. Zochen Lodom Shleuven. Very good.
I told you boys that Rabbi Freshwater has an affinity for the Hebrew language. It's kedai that you should also make yourself comfortable and around the Lashon Kodesh.
What's
Not
otzitz?
for Rabbi Freshwater, for yourself.
What's an otzitz? Noku.
Perforated plant pot with a hole in.
And what is that? What's that
So
considered?
if you give that as karka, it works because the space under the pot is connected to the ground. So it's as if he has.
Is that with the hole or without the hole?
So with a hole, but also without a hole. But the Gemara says that if it's without a hole and on stilts, it's not considered.
And what about the place under the stove?
That's not good enough.
Why not?
It's too small.
Very fascinating.
Right. Shleim. Balchov Kol Mashkim. When is that?
So,
Baruch Hashem, you're asking him.
well, there's a few answers for this. The Kinyan of Yitzchak
Kinyan of Yitzchak, yeah.
only applies Shalai B'Shas also.
Right.
So only properly claim
And the Gabi Shmitter.
Gabi Shmitter. But Gabi Shmitter, there's Alam Shiabud
Very good. Alan Shabud, and it works even.
Even B'Shas also.
Right. Where else do we have this cloud of Alan Shabud? Right, Chomit.
If you
And according to Rabbi Yitzchak, Balchov Kol Mashkim, then really Koine, does it belong to you?
well, so B'Shas also. Shalai
Shalai
B'Shas
B'Shas
also.
does it really belong to you?
So according to Rashi, five also.
And Tosus?
And Tosus, you'll be considered a Shem Socha.
Why?
Because you can be Makadish a woman with it.
I want to taste proof on that.
That you're a Shem Socha.
No, there's taste proof on that.
That B'Shas also, Alam Shi'avudah doesn't apply to make you a Shem Socha.
To?
Why not?
Because you can't.
Why?
That's a taste proof.
Yeah.
That's a taste proof. Very good. Excellent. Can I
Shem
go?
Socha is a Mefurish Gemara.
Yeah.
But because he's not a Shem
Oh, you can't,
Socha,
yeah.
so it must be that he can't be Mekadosh Mishkan.
Is a goy Koine Mashkim? Goy. Lend money to you. Is a Koine Mashkim?
A Mashkan check for that. Tosfos, did you do the Tosfos with the Chometz? So Tosfos says that the Chometz works two ways round.
Oh, okay.
If the borrower is a guy and the lender took the mashkin, he's a yid.
Then he's trying.
So then we say alim shibudei. What about the other way around? If the lender is a non-Jew and the borrower is a Jew.
Then
but you have to be careful. Tosfos says it works theoretically. Yeah? Do we say that a Balchoid, a non-Jewish Balchoid is Kohen HaMashkin? Solomon, no, what do you say?
So, no, but as I said, if you was to be able to do Kohen HaMashkin, then the same.
Right, and what about a yid from a goy? A yid from a goy? Yid from a goy?
Yeah.
Right. Someone loses his prus, what happens then?
Then we say that we believe him if we
Why?
become, because it's so easy to make a quiz.
Right. Very good. Okay. Can a goy be Kohen an Eved?
Yes.
Completely, non-completely?
they get right to Machlokas. Can he be? No, sorry, no, sorry. Like, no, it can only be Kohen Eved and Nasi Other.
Very good. How do we know that?
Because we learn it off the positive from
which is
Nehem technique.
Good.
Atem Kohen Nehem, learn Kohen Nehem, learn Kohen Zen.
Right.
So we ask on that. We say can they really not acquire each other? So we say no, they can only not acquire each other the Gufa, but the Masi Yoda they can. And how do we know that they can acquire each other the Masi Yoda? So we make a Kal V'chomer because a guy can acquire Yid the Masi Yoda, which we a guy can acquire Yid the Masi Yoda. So Kal V'chomer, a guy can acquire the Masi Yoda.
Very good. With which Canaan can a guy be Kohen?
A guy can be Kohen. Alright, so to be Kohen Yid, you can't have a regular.
What does the Torah, the Makoy that we have? Is that Kesef, Chazok?
Sorry, so this was with Kesef.
Right. And what other king can you use?
You can acquire a guy can acquire a guy with Chazaka.
Which means?
He'll be Shu and Chida.
Which Chazaka? Which one?
Yeah.
Sorry,
and Tosis lands? And Tosis lands?
Yeah, so Tosis lands. Kipch Machon.
Good. And how do we know that guy is Kohen Chazaka? Goy
I'm
Yid.
an Amav Torah B'Zichai.
And Goy Yid.
And the Goy Yid is from Bayish Ben Shevi.
Right. What's the look of a Mafka Avde?
I've got the yachts of the Chayas according according to Shmuel.
Shmuel. And if you don't hold the Shmuel, then what?
And if you don't hold the Shmuel, then you have to write.
Why?
Because Shmuel goes according to Abaya, who holds that.
You didn't ask me.
Okay, Shmuel says Mafka Avde Yotzei. How does he know that? How does Shmuel know Mafka Avde Yotzei?
Where does he learn?
Where does he know it from?
From Evedish.
Evedish. And if you argue on Shmuel, then if you argue on Shmuel, you're mafki your Eved. What on earth are you being a shakri? It's not yours. It works to have or not.
Why do you need a get if you hold not like Shmuel?
Because
who holds not like Shmuel? Who holds not like Shmuel? Who holds you do need a get?
Rav. Here. Yeah. You also need to get Rabbi Yossi.
For what? For what do you need this get shikha? What's going to do?
Because he belongs to Rabbi Sheni.
No.
Who holds that if you're mafkir and eved you need to get shikha? He knows. Who holds that if you're mafkir and eved you still need to give him a get? Who argues on Shmuel?
Shmuel says you need to get.
Shmuel is getting nervous. Take a deep breath. You know this. Who Shmuel says hamafke avdei yetzel lecheus ve'ein tzorich nefshech. He learns it from a chol eved ish mikmas kesef.
Yeah.
The Gemara on Amud Beis we saw that someone argues on him and holds that when you're mafke an eved or magdish him, you need a get shechah. Reb Chaim wants to know what's the purpose of this get shechah. Anyway, it doesn't belong to you. The eved doesn't belong to you. You've freed him. What's the purpose of the get?
The purpose of the get is.
What's the get going to do? He's free already. He can stay at home. He doesn't have to get up in the morning.
Because
like you on Sunday morning.
The two things of Rashi.
No, just a simple answer.
Can you say it again?
You know the answer. According to Rab, who holds Hamafke Avda Yetzel Lecheus V'Tzorach Yetshechon.
Yeah.
You already, he's free. He's hefker, he can stay at home, he doesn't have to get up in the morning, he can stay in bed.
Oh, this is what's going. Very good. Well done. Mafke Eved what's the noch in
Mafke Eved
No. If you're mafke and Eved does he need a get? Yes or no? By Eved Knani, it's a machlokas Rav and Shmuel. By Eved Ivri, does he need a get or does he not need a get? Go on, Alexander. Go on. You know? Go on.
Yeah, we did the Amos, the case of the Amos.
Eved Ivri we want.
Somebody owns an Eved Ivri, and he goes up to him and he says to him, Rebbe Leben, I'm mafke you, hotzmach and zatzmach, koltiv, you don't have to come to work anymore. Does he have to give him a get? Yes or no? By Eved Knani, it's a machlokas Rav and Shmuel. What about Eved Ivri? Go on.
I think because we said why we free an Eved is in order so you can marry a Baschorin, but an Eved if we can already.
Then he left
Yeah.
once he had.
I told them at the time
Yeah.
that it's more that there is a king in his son. To be mad at him, the shift. Yeah, sorry.
Why can't you tell an Ebedibri Zil? Can you tell an Ebedibri Zil?
Because then it's like Michael. You can't speak.
Why not? Because Ebedibri.
Yeah.
The Gemara
you
says
have
one.
opinion on you have an opinion on
Eved,
Kufa.
Ivri, Gufa, Kohen. Yeah.
Very good. Are you allowed to be Meshach an Eved? Yeah, are you allowed to Meshach an Eved? Is that Machlokas or everyone holds that?
Everyone holds a possible.
Yeah, it's a possible. But everyone say that possible means
No. Can't remember that.
What happens to the possible? You said very correctly it's a possible.
I think some say it's a chayv and some say it's
Good.
rishus.
Yeah, that's right.
What does Rishus mean?
Rishus means you can free them, but why do you have them? So I can't remember exactly.
I have insufficient information.
Oh, come on, I said it rishus.
Yeah. So what does Rishus mean? What does Rishus mean? Why do you need Rishus? Do I need Rishus to make a phone call on my phone? No. Do I? So why do I need Rishus to work with my Eved?
If you might have to kill them.
Oh.
Good. Very good. When is it permitted to be Meshach Eved?
Oh, for mitzvah.
The Moshul.
For example, Rabbi when he wanted to find a million, he freed his slaves to make the 10th
What kind of mitzvah was that, you know?
As in, 1 second. And we say mitzvah shani, but it was a mitzvah to make a million.
Which million? Million for what, you know?
When do you need the minyan min haTorah? Who remembers that?
Parshas
Zachar. Very good.
Any other time you're allowed to be Meshach?
Yeah. There's also one when Chasi Shifcha, you're allowed to free her because at the moment she can't marry anyone, and if you free her, Hashem wants you to populate the world.
Very good.
No, that's not the reason. That's not the reason. Again, that's not.
Yeah.
That's nothing to do with when Rashi says Lav Nishum the Mifkada. But because it was Mena Kefkanogu, that's what I'm not going to
Magdi Shavda, what's the love?
According to Rabbi, Rabbi Morav, he says that he gives the freedom.
Why?
Because according to Rashi, he says, no, he didn't. According to Rashi, he said, "Good for like others." He didn't go to bed and his man for bed kabayis. The Domi didn't say it.
So what does he mean?
So it means we have out Kodesh because it's the best interpretation.
Right. And what would the halacha therefore be mafke?
Mafke that Kolshke mafke.
And the other one, no? Can you prove Magdish from mafke?
No, you prove mafke from Makdish.
But why can't you prove Magdish from mafke?
Oh, because Makdish is
Dilma.
Dilma Domi to it there.
Right.
According to places he says.
Sorry?
According to places he says that they can't become intrinsically Kodesh. And
no, you can start on Magdish. So ask them on Magdish. Can you ask the question?
Yeah, well, that's good on
that. Actually,
yeah, why not?
So according to Tosfos, what does the Gemara mean when the Gemara says Guf Eloi Kodesh V'Domi Lo Kodesh?
And that Tosfos holds.
Simcha. According to Tosfos, what does Guf Eloi Kodesh V'Domi Lo Kodesh mean?
That it can't be. Tosfos says that. So you have
with the Issa.
With Issa.
So Guf Eloi Kodesh means that what? Even if he's Magdish it will never go through. Why? It'll never.
No, it'll go through because.
No, go through. It will never be Kodesh. What does it mean? It'll never be Kodesh.
Because then Ebed can never be Kodesh.
Why can't
a human being can never?
A human being can't be owned in such a way. It will open even by Magdish. Right. And therefore, the Domi Lo Ka'omar, Ronan, what does that mean? According to Tosfos.
They'll give over the value.
will give the value of the.
So let him belong to Hekdesh Chodesh Lemocher. Yeah? But that Chodesh Lemocher, look, oh no, what's the Gemara's next kasha, Zevi? Oh. Yeah. For you. Hold it like this. Are we done? Lovely. Tzvi Kolev Littlestown. Come on, everybody. Avnom Yaakov creditor. Sufficient knowledge. Sufficient. The time said it was sufficient. Come here. Hold this. It's all yours. Okay. Yehuda Yaakov Myers. Mr. Myers, you want to back us? Well done, YY. Well done. There we go. Alexander Chaim. You do it all. Meir Levine, come there you go. Boys, come on, a special hand for our head boy, Shlomo Levi. He's the real Rebbe of this class. Yeah. Very nice. There we go. Yeah. Yaakov Bullock. Yeah. Yaakov Bullock, David. Came up from the game 4. Unbelievable. Well done. You make something, you build on this, Jamie, yeah? Yeah. First thing. Good lad. Gabriel Yitzchak Kaplanel. It'll be a big time of cooking, Gabriel Yitzchak. We all know it. Yes? Oh. Shlomo Tzvi Khan. Good. You did well, good. Yeah. There you go. Yishai Rafael, I have insufficient information, fine message. You did well. Proud of you, Yishai. Mwah! Reb Zeev! Well done, boss. Very good. Boss. There you go. Hold it.
Ronen Yehuda. Unbelievable. Come here. Answered very, very well. There we go. Binyamin Nesanu Nisim Yecheskel. Thank you all. Please thank him, Chaim. Thank you so much. So just a couple more minutes. Solomon wants to say a few words, and then we'll go. Yeah.
So, I was speaking to Yaakov yesterday, and we were discussing at this point last year, we were looking at the year of Bubs and seeing how they were learning so much, they were living the Torah. It was so far off, so unimaginable. Yet this year, if you would have come into Ner this morning, apart from seeing the Sinai preparing, you would have seen 16 boys in the Beis Medrash, hungry for Torah. They're unbelievable. So Gidon Goldstein, who got married yesterday, he said a nice thought on Shavuos about the passage that we say when we finish learning, when we close the Gemara. It says how we have certain things and the Goyim don't have certain things. We learn, they don't learn, and it seems a bit like a cheap shot how we're attacking the other side. So obviously it's not that way, and the pshat that he said is that we're saying, what would we have become if we didn't have Torah? Where would we be now if we hadn't learned a Tosas, if we hadn't learned 60 to 53 Tosas? And I think in this class it's really come alive to us. Many people will see Rabbi Glazer as a world-class Maggid Shir, the best Rebbe in Europe. Many people will see him as the funniest man in the school. But I think all of us here will see him as the person who's changed all of our lives over this year. Every Shemona Esrei, I thank the Rabboni Shalom for sending us Rabbi Glazer, because without him I don't know where we'd be. So Glazer, give him. Yeah.
Take it away.
That's it now.
To Rabbi Glazer for the invaluable gift of Torah. J2 2015-2016. Thank you so much. Well, I just to wrap it all up, I have some interesting methods, and I'm sure many of you have been at the short end of them. The parents, the boys, and the boys know, because you can never fool the kids. You know, they know I love them with all my heart. And the Emmas, every single boy I've ever taught, I'm there for them for the rest of their lives. I intend to go and visit them in yeshiva and to watch them build, and more and more and more, Be'ez Hashem. And everything that I ever did was just to get them to this point, because I believe in every single one of them. And every single one of them has done very well. The ones who answered better, the ones who answered less, they all learned a valuable lesson. And that is that, you know, what they can do. Even the ones who didn't do so well, they saw their friends, they saw Meir Levine, where he pulled out the hat. They saw unbelievable. Simchala turned it around, unbelievable. And every single boy, and as a group, they're first of all a wonderful bunch, and really special. And as I saw when I took them away for 3 days, I couldn't get over it. They just didn't stop pumping from the first second we got in the van until we got home. And special mention, of course, must be made for Yaakov, because he always there has to be one Michiganer to make the T-shirts and to bring along the Bluetooth speaker and to believe in the whole brand. They've made the whole brand out of the whole thing, and it gives me tremendous sipuk, and it gives me chizuk going forward, because as you know, I'm not paid very much for the privilege of doing this job, and I do it for the love. I do it to walk away, to look at this, and to see boys really who now know what they're capable of. And that's a tremendous toll on their shoulders now, because they all know there's no excuse. And some of them thought they weren't capable, and we showed them that they can. And sometimes I had to bang on the table, sometimes I had to shout, sometimes I had to get a bit nasty with the parents. I did it l'shem shamayim. I love the boys, I love their parents, and I think anyone here can see that it paid off, Baruch Hashem. So I wish all these gorgeous kinderlich Hatzlocha Rabbi, I'm there next year for you. I'm only be a backslap away. And Be'ez Hashem, when you go to yeshiva, I look forward to coming to visit you all. And I want to thank the parents for bearing with me through thick and thin, through pretty and ugly. And I have nothing else to say. Look, Baruch Hashem, they all did fantastically well. And thank you.